Welcome to the Practice Power Up Podcast Monthly Review. I'm Danielle Hopkinson, Marketing Manager at Power Diary. Join Damien Adler and me as we cover the latest updates and happenings at Power Diary. Come on, let's dive in. All right. Hello, Damien, and welcome everyone to the Practice Power Up Monthly Review. It's nice to be back. It's our fabulous time to catch up and go over everything here at Power Diary. How have you been, Damien?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Danielle. We've got an exciting bunch of updates today. So we've got a long list of wonderful things to kind of announce that have been out. Been a very busy period for our product and dev teams and whatnot. So great. Always great to have lots of things to talk about.
Yes, so we've got a lot to talk about. So we are going to get started right into it right away because we care about people's time.
Okay, let's jump in on that note. First big announcement is we've released a resource management feature, so a resource booking feature, and this is now out to all accounts, and it allows you to manage things like resources, so rooms and equipment and so forth. And so you can actually set up rooms within your practice, which we call them resources because sometimes it's rooms, sometimes it's equipment, sometimes it's all sorts of different things. But you can set those things up and then have them allocated to locations within your practice. So if you have multiple locations, you can manage that and then allow those resources to be booked with appointments so that an appointment can have that resource allocated to it. And it means that can't be double booked. You can manage if someone else tries to book an appointment at the same time, utilizing that resource, the system will show that resource isn't available. So it will mean that the resources can be managed. You can avoid double booking and make sure that it takes a lot of that kind of, we've had this on the agenda for a while now. We've had feedback for some time that people would like a way to do this. It is out now in all accounts. So some features that it does. So one is the availability. So you go and book an appointment. It's going to show you what resources are available at that particular time, at that particular location. So that's awesome. If you reschedule an appointment, so if you move it to a different time and so forth, it will check. So if you already have a resource attached, it will check to ensure that resource is available at the new time that you've moved it to. If you cancel an appointment, it will remove that resource from that booking and therefore free it up for someone else to use. So that way that resources aren't tied up where someone, where you might think that's been used, but the appointment's actually been cancelled and so forth. So the system will kind of manage all of that for you. So very exciting to have that out there, and people can now use it.
Very exciting. And I know people had been, asking for this one for a while, and our team had been working on it and releasing it in like little steps. So, step one, you could go ahead and start setting up all of those resources, your butterfly room, your moon room, all your rooms, all your yoga mats, whatever you needed to go ahead and set up. And then this was kind of the next phase. And I'm sure you'll see some other things perhaps roll out to continue making it even better. But it is really exciting. The team put so much work into it. And with that, I think that there is something that they did release just right after that is kind of a nice add-on to the resource booking, and that is the availability finder updates with the resources included.
Exactly. And so you go for it. Yeah, you describe that one. It's so good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is really good. So this feature allows you to find the available times based on the specific resource that you require. So up in the top bar, you'll see a new thing, and it now says availability. The button actually says availability, and you can click on that and you can go ahead and select the resource you're looking for availability for. You can actually see a practitioner. You can see other things too. So you could filter by a few things. So you could filter by practitioner. You could then filter by the available resource, and it will show you those appointments that are available with everything that you need. So again, it's that progression. So the resources are now there. Now you can go ahead and filter them, find the appointment slot that works for you, and then book the appointment. So I think, again, that's just excellent. The whole work that has gone into everything with the resources is, time saving and, needed, and then allows you to kind of get those rooms out and get those resources out to the right place. So Really good stuff. And I'm really excited about that.
I think so too. And I think the other point to make there is, so it's that availability finder. It's an expansion on the existing availability finder that we had there, and people may not even know that it exists because it was not as obvious. When now we have that button on there where you can find it, and so if people haven't used that before, it's a way to say if you're looking for an appointment spot, you can select the practitioner, you can select, say, the amount of time that you're looking for, and the system will search and find that within, to see when is the next availability of that for that clinician at that location, for instance. So this is the next step. Beyond that, we'll also search for the availability of a particular resource. So if you needed, let's say you were a psychologist and you needed a testing kit, or you're doing some sort of cognitive testing, you could say, okay, I need this room, this practitioner, this amount of time, and I need the kit available. And the system will search and find that combination of things and say this spot here meets that criteria. So it just means that, again, things, particularly in busy practices with lots of people in and out, it means that instead of searching through and trying to find it, you can just go straight to that availability, put in the criteria you're looking for, and the system's going to give you the available spots, makes it very easy to find what you need, and of course reduces admin time.
It's brilliant. I love it. That's great. Excellent.
Okay.
Let's keep
then
going.
We have some, yes. Next thing, we have the print and export the client's appointment list. So if you go into a client profile and go into the appointments tab, there you can see a table. Now we've updated that now, so that table works like a lot of the reports tables work, where you can filter the results. So you can say, oh, well, show me just the upcoming appointments, or show me the past appointments that have been completed, or all the appointments with a particular practitioner. So you can filter that. But now what you can also do is print and export that list. So we were getting feedback from people that there are various scenarios where they need to get a list of all the past appointments, maybe with a particular practitioner, and they want to export that and be able to utilize that. So now when you export that from that table, it will respect the filters that you have got set in that table. So if you say, hey, just show me past appointments and just show me this practitioner, you'll get that display. Click print or export, it will export just those. So again, it's an admin saving feature. So instead of sitting there and having to type it out or copy and paste it into something else, people who need that, it's now available. Time saver, particularly doing reports and sometimes audits, sometimes insurance claims and things. People need a sort of long history of everything. Makes it nice and easy to do. So pick that one off. It is done. It's out. It's live.
Like nice and easy. We like nice and easy. That's good. Okay.
We do. All right. Next one, filter lists by referrer type. So this is a new filter, and this allows you to sort of target your communication. So this is sort of ideal if you want to filter by a particular, I guess, like a particular type of referrer, and you needed to, maybe you're going to send out, it could be a promotional thing, it could be availability update, it could be something about new services that you're offering, and you want to send out a bulk communication, for instance, to all referrers of a particular type. You can now filter by that type and get a more targeted list of people that you're communicating with. So now you can find this a few different ways depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're looking at sending out a bulk communication, you go to Tools, Communication, Bulk Send, you'll see it there. If you're wanting to filter and look, see it turns up there. And of course, if you were doing bulk updates and you want to update something in that referrers list, you can also go to Tools, Bulk Update, and you'll see the new filter in there as well. So we've put it in all the places that people have been asking for it. And again, make life easier. It is now you can filter that nice and easily.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
we'll tick that one off. Next one, we have boom. We have a list. 2FA authentication for Xero export. So it's a Xero export. So it's a mandatory feature now that part of Xero's kind of guidelines. So it adds an extra layer of security. It's something that Xero is asking all partners to implement, and that is now in people's accounts. So you'll see that there. Adds additional layer of security. 2FA, we know, can always be a little bit annoying. right? Let's be honest about it. Sometimes 2FA, I think we've all had that experience. However, it is a little annoying, but the extra layer of security and benefit it provides is very, very significant. Of course, we have 2FA option for Power Diary. We do suggest that everyone turns that on. This is for normal logins. So we do suggest that. It is a little bit annoying, of course, but it does provide the extra layer of security. Now, Xero have it as mandatory. So it's in there. Do use it. Well, for Xero, it's mandatory. For Power Diary, it's not mandatory because some people really don't like it, but a strong recommendation is utilize it, please.
And we take security very seriously, so we do strongly recommend it. So take it as seriously as we do. I mean, it's your information, it's your client's information. You have to,
I think, on that point, and I think we talked a little bit about this before, that we earlier this year achieved our ISO 27001 security certification, which is an international standard. It's externally audited. There's a credentialing body that goes through and do it. Now, to be very, very clear, to meet that standard, we have to have as 2FA activated for every user, for everything that we do. So all the applications that we use, all the other programs that we use, part of that requirement under the ISO 27001 security standard is that is implemented. So it is recognized as a measure that significantly improves security, and we certainly internally have to use it. It is mandatory for everyone in Power Diary. Okay, next feature. Let's keep moving. We have so many great things to talk about. So you can now clone communication templates. Right. So this is if you've got SMS, email, letter templates within the system, and often people they set up similar templates that they use, but they have some variances. So for perhaps some practitioners, some professions, there might be multiple professions working with one practice. It's a very similar template, but there's little differences. And in the past, they would have to essentially copy and paste or re-enter that text into a new one. So now you can clone templates, which means that if you're setting up a bunch of templates and they're similar but with small variances, you can just clone and away you go. So it makes life easier, reduces admin time. We had we track all the feedback, as I'd imagine people know by now, and we look at interest and what will make an impact. And this is something that people have been asking for. It's now live in the system. It also means it helps maintain things like brand consistency, because if you do a few templates and then you come back and you do them fresh, or do a new one fresh, it's easy for something to creep in, like you use a slightly different font or something a little bit different, and you don't necessarily notice it. So by using the cloning feature, it also just helps maintain that consistency, because you can just clone, edit, and so it's faster to do. You get consistency, so it's in there live in people's accounts. So that is very good.
That is very good. I like that.
We can tick that one off. Okay, now we've got a list of things that are in the improved category, so not necessarily new, but improved things.
Can I talk about the first one?
You can go talk about the first one. Go for it.
Okay, I'm really excited about this one. So I had the pleasure of meeting with our data import team, and this was something that we both, me and the team manager, really worked on. And it is that within the Power Diary system, on the data import page, there is now an inquiry form that you can go ahead and click on and get into instant communication by filling out this form, answering some questions, and it gets you started on your data import process the right way. It gets a nice, clean start, makes it smoother, the transition to Power Diary, and I'm really excited to see it implemented. Along with this, we recently revamped our entire data import page. So head on over there. If you have not imported your data, you're new to Power Diary, maybe you're listening to our podcast for the first time and you're interested in Power Diary, we want you to go over to the data import page and find out how easy it is to transition to Power Diary and how supportive our team is. So we've got that within the system that you can go ahead, start your inquiry, get the process rolling with our data import team. And you can also head on over to the webpage, www.powerdiary.com/data-import process. Check out that whole page. There's great stuff on there. It walks you through the entire process. It is a safe and secure process. Our data import team is phenomenal. How they work with you, how they make sure your data is securely sent into the Power Diary system. I mean, it's amazing. I know you've been working with that team. Well,
yeah, it's
forever.
no, it's important, very important part of the onboarding process for new customers to get that data in there, and it's something we've always sort of prioritized. And now it's another iteration to kind of make it a lot easier and to get that sort of set up in the right way. So yeah, new people who are onboarding with Power Diary, it won't impact as much for existing users who likely have either been with us for a long time or they've already got their data in. But if you're a new user, as you say, jump on and it gets things going and streamlined. So good to have that out there.
Yes, it is.
Next thing that we have is around this is in the improvement category, is the payment receipts update, just the way in which the sort of receipt is emailed when someone has kind of paid. And so the scenario is around when someone pays using like a payment link, and where does that sort of the receipt go. So now what it does is it makes sure that the receipt will be emailed to the payee of the invoice and not the client. And so this is a scenario. Let's say you have a third-party payer who is paying for the client services. They're paid for that invoice online. The receipt will actually be sent to the person who paid it, like who's actually, or who is assigned as the person responsible for the invoice, rather than directly to the client. Because if the client isn't paying, it's someone else paying, and the system's been set up that way, then they're the ones who need the evidence that the payment's been made, and so it goes there. So it's just an improvement in process, again, based on feedback that there were these circumstances where it just didn't quite match the need when sort of generating the receipts and getting them out to the people that need them. So that is done. Okay, the next thing is around an improvement, and this is sort of the start of a journey around the user interface and the styling updates. So we are working through, I think anyone who uses any form of technology, will see that, your iPhone, your Google phone, the Android phone, everything, the user interface needs to be updated constantly to kind of keep it fresh and keep it within the whatever the sort of current browser capacities are, whatever the current sort of styling and layout kind of requirements are. There's always a need to kind of constantly refresh. And so we have got a sort of refreshment cycle, if you like, working with our sort of UI and working with our designers to make some things, to neaten them up, to clean them up, to alter some of the contrasts and color schemes and things, just to sort of give it a bit of a refresh, and to make sure that we are sort of adhering to the things that make it easier on your eyeballs, make it easier to kind of see and find the information that you want. So we've already got some of these things already rolled out. So what have we got out live already, Danielle, that you've got?
I wrote them down because you're going to see, I think, some more things happening too. But the main site, this navigation on the side. So you'll see there has been some changes there. So that has happened. And then the calendar view drop downs and buttons, they've had some modifications. And then obviously the new available button, that's a new too. So I mean, these things are going to constantly work, and I don't want to, you're going to see some great things happening with the UI to really get it, refreshed. And it's really exciting stuff. And I'd love to speak more, but I don't want to,
no, we won't push too much of it, but it's something that you'll notice. And part of it too is, as we add features and whatnot, we want to make sure things don't become cluttered, and we need to be always making sure that it kind of remains easy to navigate, easy to find. So anyway, we have some things out. There's more in the pipeline. We just do it sort of gradually rather than one big, change, so that it is not a big adjustment to get used to, but you'll see those things being rolled out over the next little while.
We don't want you to come home and see all your furniture moved around all in
one day. Exactly.
Moving subtly.
Exactly. Gradual improvement around that.
I like
the next big piece of news, we'll move on, is our GDPR. So for people that are operating in the UK and Europe, so for a long time, of course, we have to comply with GDPR, and we have done. We have a very comprehensive program both for security and for privacy, and we have dedicated people on that. But what we have chosen to do with GDPR is that you're only actually required, to essentially self-certify, to sort of check your own compliance and to sort of, as a company, you have this responsibility to comply with GDPR laws if you operate in UK or EU or citizens of. What we have opted to do is sort of take it a step further than that. So we do have our own internal privacy and security experts that work, with us. But we've actually also decided we hired an external auditing and assessment sort of agency to go through and to audit our different programs. And so we're working through some of these, but we have completed our GDPR external audit, and we had a consultancy do that for us. It has a very good standing and has very high standards in how they assess. And very pleased to announce that we passed that with flying colours. We got a really good, result. It was very comprehensive, involved auditing our all our internal documents, our processes. We all got interviewed, didn't we? Like
I was gonna say, they
yeah.
interviewed me. I was so nervous. I was like so nervous, but I know how we operate. So on that end, I wasn't nervous, but it's kind of like, going
under pressure
or something.
Absolutely. No. I mean, I the same thing. I've live and breathe it every day. And but even so, when you're being audited and you're facing either a panel or the auditor, and you have to answer all these questions and show it in real time, you can't, necessarily. You've got to be able to produce the evidence, and that's after they've already gone through all your systems and looked at everything. So, but anyway, it's a very good process. It's it's good. In our view, we think it's so important, privacy and security. And we do hire resources directly and have dedicated team on that. But it's still good to get these sort of outside sort of consultants to have a view, because there could be always the potential that there's a collective blind spot in an organization, or sort of look at something from a particular perspective and overlook something. So part of our kind of program and making sure that we're doing the best job that we possibly can is to get outside expert eyes on that. And so really great to have GDPR out there and have it done. We're going to provide, if we haven't already, but we'll update our website with the verification of that and details about who conducted the audit and so forth. So so that will go there along now, of course, with our ISO security certification, and we have others in the pipeline as well. So it's to provide that additional reassurance that that it's not just our view, that we take these things seriously and we get that external assessment around it. So excited to have that there.
My understanding is, we say UK, but GDPR, in EU, that's like the most, the most difficult, the strongest security standard pretty much in the world. Like GDPR is very, it's no joke. So to get this external audit, to have gotten such a high score, it is really a testament to our commitment to privacy and security and how seriously we take it. And I'm really proud of being a part of this organization that does really value security and privacy of everything that we do. So
I agree. I think it's that kind of, how do we sleep at night, kind of one of those measures too, to go, okay, what things can we do to make sure we're doing the right thing and make sure that we're not, not blind to anything, or we're not missing things. And this is sort of one of those things that kind of increases that validation and making sure we're doing things right. And as you say, the GDPR forms a foundation for a lot of. So if we look at the regulations in the States, for instance, and the way that works, a lot of the principles, everything are that overlap, and the GDPR is actually a lot stricter in most circumstances, in fact, than what we have in the US, what we have in our Canadian compliance program, and in Australian compliance. Those things, often GDPR is the strictest standard. And that's actually really helpful, because when we set our settings to that, it means that as we go in, like say with HIPAA and so forth, we already comply usually without having to make too many specific changes, for each of the regions. So we do, of course, make sure we do comply, and we check that against, and we have programs to make sure that we are complying with the other things. But very often, by having the strongest setting, the hardest setting there, then the rest of it is actually a lot easier to do. So, yeah. Very good. Okay, let's move on time-wise. I'm aware. Okay, now you're going to talk about awards. We've got a bunch of awards and recognitions. Over to you. Hit us with it.
We love a good award around here. So if everybody knows G2, so G2, it is a highly respected platform for real-time and unbiased user reviews. And we are obviously on there, and we received 8 awards in the G2 Fall 2023 Awards. So they're going on. I know in Australia, you guys are coming into spring, but it goes on the
US cycle. It does.
The US cycle, or we'll go the Northern Hemisphere cycle, because it's fall in Europe too. So we won Momentum Leader, Fastest Implementation Small Business, Best Estimated ROI, Best Estimated ROI Small Business, Leader in Small Business, High Performer, and users love us. So thank you. And I just, I never done this before, because we've talked about the awards, but I've never given anybody some quotes. So I just wanted to kind of highlight some quotes that we received, because these are things that users are saying about us. And I just think it's great. So I especially wanted a platform that was mobile friendly, including the calendar. I also particularly liked the integrated telehealth function, and that's really cool, because we just launched our telehealth plus, and we've got that integrated as well. However, my favorite part, and I know my team's gonna at the customer service, my favorite part has been the responsiveness of customer service. So yay to our customer service team, customer success. They are amazing. And then another one was the most helpful practice management system for psychologists I've come across. So I just love that. And I love that, we got all these reviews and people wanted to give it to us. That's really highlights how, the practical benefits that these users are getting and the satisfaction that they're getting from Power Diary. So just really good stuff. And so I'm excited about that. But it doesn't stop there. There are other review sites that we got awards on too. So this is excellent. So Capterra, which is a leading digital marketplace for business software, and they gave us the 2023 shortlist for mental health software. So we made the shortlist. So that's excellent. Awesome. And then Software Advice is a front runner in leadership and innovation of software. And they gave us the Front Runners Award for mental health. So that's good. And then GitApp is known for this is known for its software discovery and recommendation platform. So that's what it's known for. And we got category leader 2023 in mental health. So we got 3 other awards from 3 other software sites, review sites. And I'm really excited about that. So
interesting. We've had a good run with, I was looking at that with our mental health and psychologist feedback in this particular quarter, but good to remind everyone out there, of course, that the platform is used by all sorts of health professionals across a diverse range in all the countries we operate. So mental health is obviously something that we're getting lots of great feedback in psychology, but you name it, whether it's physiotherapy or physical therapy, or whether it's massage, if it's like dietitians, we've got a bunch. It's the software, the platform is used for any kind of allied health professions around the world. So, but looks like our mental health people have been giving us rave reviews of late.
Well,
awesome.
the G2 rewards were actually in medical practice management. They're reorganizing their categories. So they're all of our rewards are in medical practice management. So that includes anybody that's using our software. So that is, like you said, the physio or physical therapist, the osteopaths, podiatrists, chiropractors, counselors, mental health. So it's all into one with G2. So you get, a range of different specialties that are using our software. So Sorry about that. I should have made a mental note to go ahead and say that. But yes, everyone, come on over. Power Diaries for everybody.
Very good. Now, moving, we're near the end. I think you want to talk about the Power Talks that we have coming up?
Yes. So you have a Power Talk at the end of the month. It is called Scale for Success, How a Virtual Assistant Can Save You Time, Money, and Headaches. And we know you don't want to do these things alone. So we've brought in an expert. We've got Kim Simmons, who is the founder of Virtually Irreplaceable. And just some background on Kim. So Kim is a founder of Virtually Irreplaceable. They specialize in administrative support for therapists in private practice. She's based in the United Kingdom. She has 5 years of experience in this field, and she focuses on streamlining processes to save time and money. And she's an expert at optimizing workflows, implementing efficient systems for private practice. And she had her business, this is what her business does. So they, help you find that virtual assistant. She works with you. She's fantastic. So she's going to provide, you guys together are going to provide expert insights on how to transform your practice with a virtual assistant. So I'm really excited about this. You're going to cover when to integrate a virtual assistant in your practice for optimal results, key criteria for selecting the right service and maintaining your confidentiality, which is obviously important, best practice for a seamless collaboration, and what to delegate to supercharge your efficiency. And from what I understand, you guys are on fire with this thing. I heard from Heather, who is helping set up the webinar, and she met with you both. She said she said it was great. I mean, just when you guys met to discuss and get ready, she said it was fantastic. So I'm waiting for this one. It will happen at the end of the month. So Tuesday and Wednesday, September 26th and 27th. As you know, we have 3 times to hit all of our time zones. So we appreciate you guys doing that. And I am super excited.
I think it'll be great. And I think that with Kim, I really like in that pre-interview, a bit behind the scenes here, we meet ahead of time and we look at and prepare for webinars and what we're going to cover. And so ultimately, I'm going to pick Kim's brains about her experience in doing this. And what I really like about Kim's approach is she specializes in health and providing services for health. So rather than just a sort of generic serviced office kind of setup, she's really sort of focused on health practitioners. But she kind of gets it, right? She really gets the sort of psychology of the dynamic, the things that you need to be concerned about and that you need to attend to. So things like confidentiality and finding the right fit and so forth. But also, I think she understands the value of removing administration from the burden of administration, if you like, from practitioners and from practice owners. And of course, that's what we do at Power Diary, right? Is we try and automate and simplify administration. That's our sort of purpose for being. And what she does, she'll sort of take it to the next step. That there's that admin that still needs to be done, and she's really good at understanding what can be outsourced in a responsible, sensible kind of way. So really looking forward to that. Kim's great, get along with her, very well. And I'm basically going to pick her brains about some of these things. So tune in for that. It will be great fun.
PowerDiary.com/webinars. Register today. And while you're on there, I want to remind everyone that all of our past webinars, all of our past Power Talks are viewable right there on that page. So PowerDiary.com/webinars, including the one that you recently did with Claire on what's new at Power Diary. And I heard that, and I watched it. That one was great as well. And people really enjoyed it and loved seeing all of the development, everything that we did. It kind of was like a compilation of all the things you've been working on and we've been working on, the team's been working on. And I encourage everyone to head on over to that website, register for the next webinar, and rewatch or watch
Rewatch.
all the other ones.
Yeah, I think it's that was it was good fun to do that with Claire, and we've had really good feedback. I think looking at that, we look at the stats, we look at what you like out there, what you watch, what you don't watch. We're interested. We want to always improve what we do, and looking at the feedback on from the webinar Claire and I did, it looks like the feedback was great. We had some really some lovely comments come in, and the stats on people who watched that and watched it to the end, all the rest of it are great. So if you haven't seen that, definitely jump on and have a look. Very good. I think we are there. Is that right?
We did it. I really
did it.
feel
Wonderful.
like we did a great job. I hope everyone.
Well, we'll let people out there be the judge of that. But I think
like,
we've
follow,
covered a lot.
subscribe. Do all the things like follow, subscribe. Keep add it to your playlist. Keep listening. We've got more to come. So thank you everyone for listening. And until next month, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.